let me continue recording. So I was saying that the most important thing you should take note of is that in stage 1, both MPP and APP reach their maximum, but MPP reaches its maximum at a point of inflection, but APP, which is the most important thing in stage 1 that you should never forget, APP reaches its maximum at the end of stage 1, and that is a point where it is equal to the MPP, meaning that it is this point here. So MPP is equal to APP, where APP is at its maximum. So write it down like that. MPP reaches its maximum, I mean to say APP reaches its maximum at the end of stage 1, where it is equal to MPP. So we get this function MPP equals APP at a point where APP is at its maximum, and that will be marking the end of stage 1. Did you get that? Did you take note of that? Guys, did you write it down?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna need that information as we proceed. Then the other thing, the last thing that you should know about stage 1 is that, this session, am I still on the line?
Yes, Tumelo.
Yo, Rasokon. Okay, thank you. The formula for calculating elasticity in this chapter, seems like I'm no longer in the session. Okay. The formula for calculating elasticity of production is given by it's EP, the capital letter E, I mean to say, it's EP, which denotes the elasticity of production, is given by MPP over APP. So this is the formula, don't swap them around. If they say calculate the elasticity of production, they need EP, uppercase E, and then subscript P. So it's EP equals MPP over APP. And they are telling us that once you have calculated your EP, the elasticity of production, and you get less, I mean to say greater than 1. If you get an EP of greater than 1, it tells you that it is that stage is number 1. It means that it is the stage 1 of neoclassical production function. Remember, after calculating, you are supposed to interpret your result. So in this case, when you interpret the elasticity, you will be interpreting in terms of telling us whether it is the stage 1 of neoclassical production, stage 2, or stage 3. So in stage 1, the EPP, which is the, I mean to say, the elasticity of production is greater than 1. In other words, it means that the MPP is greater than the APP, because if MPP is greater than the APP, the value will be greater than 1. For example, if you have 2 over 1, 2 is the MPP and it's greater than 1, 1 is the APP. So you will get an answer that is greater than 1, which is 2. So it means that it is stage 1. And you can even confirm this by going back to the graphs and see if indeed in stage 1, MPP is greater than APP. So let's go back to the graph and see if that makes sense. So this is stage 1. We know that stage 1 ends here, right? We know that stage 1 ends here at a point where these two graphs are equal, right? And we said that the elasticity of production in stage 1 is greater than 1, meaning that I told you that in simpler terms, it means that the MPP is greater than the APP. So this is the case. This graph, this one here, is the MPP, and it's above what? In stage 1, it's above this one here. So you can see that MPP is greater than APP in stage 1. That is why the elasticity of production is greater than 1, and we are saying it's in stage 1 of neoclassical production. Are we together?
No.
Okay, let me repeat. Others are saying no. So there is a statement that says in stage 1, the elasticity of production, which is the EP, is greater than 1. And we know that when we calculate elasticity of production, we say EP equals MPP over APP. So you can substitute any value here for MPP and APP, any value to check the situation whereby you will get a value that is greater than 1. So if you have 1 over 2, meaning that if your MPP is less than the APP, then you have 1 over 2, the answer will be 0.5. So 0.5 is not greater than 1. So if it's not greater than 1, it means that it is not stage 1 of neoclassical production. But in simpler terms, when they say EP, elasticity of production, is greater than 1 in stage 1, they are telling you that the numerator is greater than the denominator. In this case, the MPP is greater than the APP. So we can say any value that is greater than 2 values that are not equal. So the denominator is smaller than the numerator. So an example is 2 over 1. So 2 over 1, you will get 2 as the answer. So 2 is greater than 1, and it simply tells you that this is stage 1 of neoclassical production function. So in essence here is that when they say elasticity of production is greater than 1, they are trying to say the marginal physical product is greater than the average physical product. And that is true because if you check your graphs here, if you check your graphs, you will see that stage 1 ends here. We said it ends at a point where APP reaches its maximum, and it is where the MPP and the APP are equal. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yes, and I told you that when they say EP is greater than 1, they are telling you that marginal physical product, which is the MPP, is greater than the MPP. So you can check, this is your MPP, right? It's your MPP, and it's on top of the APP in stage 1. Do you see it? So it means that MPP is greater than the APP in stage 1. Do you see it graphically? Should I continue? Did you guys understand that? No way. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yo, guys, rasoko like a network.
Yes, but you can't see anything you've predicted.
Do you understand now? Did you understand graphically how MPP is greater than APP?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to stage 2. So in stage 2, remember I said I'm not going to explain these stages to you. I'm just explaining the important things that you should know. So in stage 2, the thing that you need to know is that TPP, which is the total physical product, reaches its maximum. Write this down. TPP reaches its maximum in stage 2. So they might say in the test, I mean to say in the upcoming exam, they might say, calculate the value of X when the TPP reaches its maximum. Or they say, calculate the value of X or the level of X when APP reaches its maximum. So in that case, it will be simpler for you because you know APP reaches its maximum towards the end of stage 1, where it is equal to APP, it is equal to MPP, meaning that for you to get the value of X, you are going to equate the APP function and the MPP function, and then you solve for X. You will get the level of X when the average physical product is at its maximum. And that will be stage 1. But in stage 2, they might say, they don't tell you that this is stage 2. They just say, calculate the level of X when the TPP is at its maximum. You must know that TPP reaches its maximum in stage 2, and it is at a point where the marginal physical product is 0. This point is very important, ladies and gentlemen. In stage 2, this point is very important. So it means that TPP is at its maximum at a point where MPP is equal to 0, meaning that if they say calculate the levels of X when the TPP is equal to 0, you are just gonna take the MPP function, you equate it to 0. And then you write the MPP function, you equate it to 0, and then you solve for X. You will get the level of X when the TPP is equal to 0. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Eh,
That's
I want
something
to
that,
ask,
yes.
if you get a number, maybe -2 as the value of X, you ignore that negative.
Yes, yeah, we are still gonna discuss that. When it comes to the calculation, more especially when you use quadratic formula. Remember, when you use quadratic formula, because it has X, I mean to say it has a negative B plus or minus, right? It means that there are 2 possible outcomes there. So you might get a negative answer or you might get both positive answers. So if you get a negative and a positive, you ignore the negative one, you focus on the positive one, because there's no way you can have a negative output. So output is always positive. Are we together?
Yes.
So the last important thing that you should know about stage 2 is the issue of elasticity. So elasticity in stage 2 is less than 1. So if you are going to calculate your elasticity of production, you use MPP over your APP. You get an answer that is less than 1. It means that it is operating, the farmer is operating in stage 2 of neoclassical production function. So what does it mean in terms of MPP and APP? Which one is greater than the other if you get a less than 1?
It means that APP is greater than MPP.
APP.
Good. You are ready. Therefore, there's no need for us to have this session. Do you see? Because you have knowledge. You know more about these things more than we do. So there's no need for us to continue. So we call it a night, right? So
No.
Oh, no.
But then you understand.
Oh, no.
Okay. Let's see if that is true. So this is stage 2, right? Stage 2 starts, stage 1 ends here, remember, where APP is at its maximum and MPP and APP are equal. So after this point, you have stage 2, right? So this will be your stage 2. And we said in stage 2, TPP, this is the TPP function. The first graph here is the TPP function. It reaches its maximum at this point. Do you see the point I'm pointing at now?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
So it's TPP reaching its maximum, and it is a point where what? This MPP, this is the MPP function. Is MPP is equal to what? Is equal to 0, because these are the x-axis. So MPP is indeed 0 where the TPP is at its maximum. You get it, right? So we said that the elasticity of production is 0, and you told me that it means that the APP is greater than the MPP, of which is true. So in stage 2, this is what's happening. This is your APP, it's above the MPP. So that is true. In stage 2, APP is greater than the APP. Do you understand it graphically?
yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. That is the end of the important thing I wanted you to know with regards to stage 2. Then the rest you will read on your own. Those ones are the important ones. You can never pass this module without knowing them. Stage 3. In stage 3, what you should know is that it begins at a point where MPP is 0. But then the most important thing you should know about this stage is that, let me check. MPP is negative throughout this stage 3. Okay, this one. The most important ones are 1 and 2. And stage 2 is the most important, the most rational stage of production. You know the reasons. You wrote the assignment on the reason why the stage 2 is regarded as the rational state of production. So it is because of the EP that is less than 1. And you know, if EP is less than 1, what is the implication? And it is not only because of the elasticity of production. You know other reasons that you wrote in the assignment. So it's theoretical. You will have to find such information on your own. Now we are continuing to the formulae that I need you to know. So the first formula is EP. We spoke about the EP. We said EP is the what? What is EP? This one here.
Elasticity of production.
Good, you are ready. So it is the elasticity of production is given by MPP over APP. You should know how to derive MPP. You should also know how to derive APP, because you will need such knowledge to calculate or to compute the elasticity of production. So secondly, we have...
So tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Sorry to disturb. I was disconnected. So I wanted to ask, when they say we should do what's this word? I agree we have the EP, our elasticity.
Yes,
So
after that you
of
interpret.
production. So when they say we should, yes, how do you interpret it?
Yes, I said the first thing that you need to do there is to explain in terms of the stages. So once you mention the stage, they will give you a mark. So you will say EP is less than 1. So if EP is less than 1, which stage is that?
It's stage 2.
Yes, so you will say, therefore, this means that the farmer is operating in stage 2 of neoclassical production function. And then an implication here is that the APP is more than the MPP. Right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, and then you can also interpret the stage 1 where you are saying the MPP is greater than the APP. and then it's stage 1 of neoclassical production function, they will give you the marks, unless they also taught you how to interpret differently, where you are saying, remember when you talk about the elasticity of production, we talk about the responsiveness of the production towards the addition of inputs. So if we keep adding more inputs in the production process, what happens? So remember, in stage 2, the elasticity is less than 1. So if it's less than 1, it tells us that the APP, which is the average physical product, is greater than the marginal physical product. Because if it's greater than the marginal physical product, remember the marginal physical product denotes the what? Denotes the additional output that the farmer derives as he makes or he puts in an additional input in the production process. But don't be confused. You can just interpret in terms of the stages and in terms of APP being greater than MPP or MPP being greater than APP. Right?
So what is the elasticity of production condition at stage 3?
Stage 3, they did not mention it. Let me check. I don't know about the elasticity of production in stage 3, but what I know is that it's gonna be negative. Why is it gonna be negative? Because if you can check the graph, this is the graph, right? Stage 2 ends here. It ends at a point where the MPP is 0. Then immediately after 0, the MPP becomes negative. Do you see? And they've also said that MPP is negative throughout stage 3. So negative, remember when you calculate elasticity of production, it's MPP over APP. So negative MPP over positive APP, you will get a negative EP, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, so it means that in stage 3, EP is negative, or you can say EP is less than 0, because less than 0 means negative. Are we together? Are you guys answered? Hello? Sure, this network. Okay, so did you get the clarity there? Are you clarified? Are you still unable to hear me? Yeah. Yeah. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this network, yeah, I'm short-tempered. I even feel like crying because I want to finish this chapter and also go through the questions with you so that you master it. I need 100% in the exam. Are you able to hear me? Should I continue? Yo, Hello, guys? Are you able to hear me? Should I proceed? Hello?
We can hear you, Tumelo.
Okay, thank you. Yo, yeah, let's see. So I'm proceeding, right? Please indicate so that I can continue.
Continue.
Okay, thank you. So now we are looking at other formulae, right? We have the variable formulae. So we are looking at the total variable. The V, does it stand for variable, total variable product, right? So this is how you are gonna derive this formula. So all of them are the product. So it's a total variable product, average variable product, and marginal variable product. It's the MVP or the VMP. So all of them have the word product in them. Do you agree? Yo, this network, let me try this.
Can you please repeat?
Okay, thank you. This network is depressing me. Should are you able to hear me, guys?
We can
Yes,
hear you,
we
Tumelo.
can.
Okay, thank you. The problem is that once I migrate to using a cell phone, you won't be able, I mean to say the session will not be recorded because I don't have enough space for such a recording. It will consume a lot of space. So I said we have three of them, the TVP, the AVP, the MVP, or the VMP. So the TVP is the total variable product. TVP is the total variable product. AVP is the average variable product. And VMP or MVP is the marginal variable product. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if you can check all of them, they have P's, and that P denotes product. Do you agree? So I said product, product, product. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So is product an output or an input? What is a product? Is it an output or an input?
It is an output.
It is an output. How do we denote an output? With letter Y or letter X?
It's an output. Letter Y.
Letter Y. Others are behind. Yeah, this network, it's like someone is behind it. So it's letter Y. Good. That is perfect. But before I actually tell you what is happening, let me start by looking at the word value. When you say, I'm going to buy this because its value is high, how do you gauge value? How do you gauge the value of something? Who can tell us or who can try? So if you say the value of these shoes is very high or the value of my cell phone is very high, how do you measure value? How can one measure value?
By price.
Very good. So it means that value is actually the price expressed in terms of weights. So value is the price. So when we say this is the value of output, it means that we are looking at the price of output. So once they say total variable product, I said product is an output, value is price. It means that it's what? It's a PY, because output is denoted by Y, meaning that in that exam, they are going to fool you. And if you don't know your story, you are going to end up confusing things. So they will give you the PX, they will also give you the PY. And you are not going to use PX anywhere, except for when you calculate the total variable cost that we are still going to look into very soon. So when you calculate the variable products, all of them, you use the price of Y, not the price of X. Why the price of Y? Because you are dealing with the value of the product, and value is money. Value is price. So it's the price of the output. Are we together up to so far?
Can you please repeat, Skin?
Okay. We are saying when you calculate the variable products, so this is the total variable product, average variable product, and the marginal variable product. So all of them are variable products. So because we are saying, I started by saying all of these three functions have products in them. And you told me that a product is an output. You also told me that we denote an output in this module and in this chapter by letter Y. And I agreed with you there. So output is Y. But value, you said value is just the price. So when you say your shoes have a higher value, it means that they have a higher price. So it means that the value product or the value of the product is the price of that product. So product is an output and is Y. So meaning that VP is PY. So meaning that when you calculate all these three things, you are always going to calculate them using the price of the output, because you are dealing with what? With the value of the product. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. So in the exam, they will give you the price of inputs and the price of Y. And someone is going to confuse them. The other one will use PX, the other one will use PY. And in that case, you won't be sure or correct. So someone will get the answers wrong in that case. So as long as you understand that PY comes from the word variable product, then you will be safe. Now, you understood that first part, right?
Yes.
PY. Now let's check. In the first equation, we are dealing with what? With total variable product. So for you to know what we are going to multiply the price of Y by, you have to do this. You cancel V. You also cancel V here. You cancel V here. No, why did I cancel my M? You cancel V, right? And then you remain with what? With total product. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So it means that TVP will be calculated by taking the price of Y, we multiply by the total product, which is the TPP. Secondly, AVP. So V has been taken by price of Y, remember? So that is why we are cancelling it. You remain with what? With AP. So it's average product. So it's APP. So you are multiplying that by APP, you will get the AVP.